Hey guys, we are going to solve some logs algebraically today. I'm going to do 10 examples for you. If at any point you're needing a more thorough explanation on any of these, I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. If you find yourself needing a more thorough explanation, I'll have a playlist linked in the corner where I do each one of these problems with its own video and I go into a lot more detail if you need to check that out. Okay, we are going to solve this, which just means they want us to solve this how we're used to solving equations and apply things we know about logs. We'll also check for extraneous solutions, which we'll talk about what that means in just a second. All right, whenever I am solving equations, I typically want to get all the unknowns, all my variables on the same side. So the first thing I'm going to do is add log base 4 of x plus 6 to both sides. All right, this is what I end up with when I added that log to both sides. Now, as we go through these, we're going to be using some of our logarithm properties. So on this problem, I am going to use the product rule. So I can go ahead and rewrite these two logs with the same bases being added. I can rewrite them like this. All right, that log tells me I can rewrite this as one log with those being multiplied. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply these out, and I will get log base 4 of x squared minus 36 equals 3. All right, now we are going to go ahead and convert this to exponential form. If you need a review on this, I'll link a video in the corner. But I'm going to have 4 to the power of 3 equals x squared minus 36. Now 4 to the third power is 64 equals x squared minus 36. Now I'm just solving for x. So I'm going to go ahead and add 36 to both sides. And I end up with 100 equals x squared. All right, x is almost alone, but I want to get rid of that squared. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So I will end up with plus or minus 10 equals x. If you're like, what the heck, why did she do that plus or minus? Well, whenever we introduce a square root into a problem, we need to consider both the positive and negative, because 10 times 10 is 100, and negative 10 times negative 10 is also 100. So that's why we're considering both. So when we solve this, we got the x equals 10 and x also equals negative 10. Those are my two answers. Almost done, but we need to check for extraneous solutions. So super quick review on what this is. If I have the log base 2 of negative 4 equals x, and I convert that to exponential form, I'll have 2 to the power of x equals negative 4. Now you might see the problem here. There's no number I can plug in for x that will get me a negative 4 or any negative number. So I have to go ahead and make sure that when I plug my answers in, it doesn't put a negative inside my parentheses. So let's go ahead and check. So when I do 10 minus 6 is 4, we're good. 10 plus 6 is 16, we're good. Now let's try negative 10. Ooh, negative 10 minus 6, that's negative 16, which is a negative number, obviously. So negative 10 is an extraneous solution. So it is not one of our solutions. Basically what it means is negative 10 is an answer here, but when we consider it back into our original problem with logs, it doesn't work. So it is extraneous. All right, let's go to the next example. Okay, on this one, we don't have anything happening besides the log, so I'm just going to take this straight from log form to exponential form. So we are going to have 4 to the 4th equals 25x plus 6. Now, if I want to know what 4 to the 4th is, let me find my calculator. 4 to the 4th, we get 256 equals 25x plus 6. Now I'm just trying to get my x alone, so I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. I get 250 equals 25x, and then I'm going to go ahead and divide, and I end up with 10 equals x. All right, let's make sure this isn't extraneous. 25 times 10 is going to be positive, plus 6 is going to be positive, so we are good. All right, on this example, we have two logs with the same base equal to each other. My one-to-one property or equality rule tells me that I can just set what's inside the parentheses equal to each other. Because I don't have any like plus ones out on the side or anything. I can go ahead and do 5x minus 2 equals 2x plus 10. Well, we've solved stuff like this a million times, right? Let's go ahead and get all the x's together. I have 3x minus 2 equals 10. Go ahead and add 2 to both sides, and I get 3x equals 12. We're going to divide 3 on both sides and get x equals 4. All right, let's make sure this isn't extraneous. 5 times 4 would give me 20 minus 2. We're a positive number. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 10 gives me a positive number, so we're good. All right, in this example, we've got a 3 out in front of our log. So I'm just going to divide that off. And we will end up with log base 4 of x plus 1 equals 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now we're going to go ahead and convert to exponential form. So I'll have 4 squared equals x plus 1. 4 squared is 16 equals x plus 1. Subtract from both sides, and I get 15 equals x. There is my answer. Let's make sure it's not extraneous. 15 plus 1 is 16, which is positive, so we're good. All right, friends, on this one, I have a square root. We will talk about what we're going to do with that. First thing I'm going to do is to get the x by itself. So we're going to add 1 to both sides. So I get log base 3 of the square root of x equals 2. If you need an exponent review, I'll link one in the corner. But the square root of x can also be written as x to the 1/2 power. Those are the same thing. So if I write log base 3 of x to the 1/2 power equals 2, well, now I can go ahead and use my power rule and pull that 1/2 out front. So I can rewrite this as 1/2 log base 3 of x equals 2. If any of these properties are confusing you or you're like, why does that work? I'll have a playlist linked in the corner that you can check out. All right, now I'm trying to get x alone. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to cancel out that 1/2. So I'll have log base 3 of x equals 2 times 2 is 4. Now we're just going to convert this to exponential form. So I will have 3 to the power of 4 equals x. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So we get x equals 81. If I were to plug this in here, I'd get 81. Square root of 81 is 9. So we're positive. We're good. All right, here is another example. If I'm going to try to get x alone, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. So I will have 1/2 log base 5 of negative 5x equals 1. Now this is very similar to the last one we just did. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to cancel out that fraction. So I'll have log base 5 of negative 5x equals 2. Now I can go ahead and rewrite this in exponential form. So I will have 5 squared equals negative 5x. 5 squared is 25. And then I just need to divide by negative 5. 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5 equals x. All right, you might be tempted to say, oh, that must be extraneous because it's negative. But let's go plug it in and see what happens. Negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. So this is actually a good solution. If this had been positive, actually, it would have been extraneous, right? So that's why we always want to plug it in. Don't just assume because it's negative that it's extraneous. All right, this one I can just go ahead and convert to exponential form. So I will have 4 squared equals x squared minus 7x plus 26. 4 squared is 16, so I'm just going to rewrite this. Now this is looking quadratic-y, right? That's a word. So I know that I can't quite get my x's alone if I just try to subtract 26 because I've got one that's squared and one that's not. So we're going to get everything on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides and have 0 equals x squared minus 7x plus 10. All right, now we get to factor. So I need two numbers, that multiply to 10 and add to negative 7. So I am thinking 2 and 5 with them both negative. Negative 2 times negative 5 gives me 10. Negative 2 plus negative 5 gives me negative 7. So when I factor this, I get x minus 2 times x minus 5. I will put a factoring review in the corner if you need it. This is still equal to 0. Now I can go ahead and set each one equal to 0. So I end up with, when I solve for x equals 2 and x equals 5. Let's go ahead and plug these in really fast. Make sure they're not extraneous. Ooh, this one is like a little more work, but it's okay. So you could always use your calculator too. 2 squared will give me 4 minus 2 times 7, which is 14. So we're negative there, but 26 is bigger than that. So it's going to be positive, right? Then 5, we're going to have 25. You can always like pencil it in. 25 minus 35, which will give us a negative 10. But then we have the plus 26, which will make it positive. So both of these are good answers. All right, we've done a few of these now. So I want you to look at this for 2 seconds and see if you can figure out which property we're going to use. If you thought the one-to-one property or equality rule, you are right. We have two logs with the same base equal to each other. There's no other like things happening, being multiplied or subtracted or anything. So I can go ahead and just do x squared plus 5x is equal to 6. Now this is again similar to the last one we did. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. Get x squared plus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. And now we're going to factor again. So when I factor this, I'm going to have x minus 1 times x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now I can go ahead and set those equal to 0, each equal to 0, I should say. Add 1, I get x equals 1 minus 6 from both sides and get x equals negative 6. All right, let's go ahead and check, make sure we're not extraneous. 1 times 1 is 1 plus 5 times 1 is 5. That'll be positive. Negative 6 times negative 6 is going to give me 36. And then 5 times negative 6 is going to give me negative 30. But 36 minus 30 is still positive. So both of these are good solutions. All right, I think we have 2 left. If you've hung out with me this long, thank you. Just remember, if you need a more in-depth explanation on any of these, I had that playlist linked earlier. All right, on this one, we are trying to get my x's together, right? I'm going to go ahead and subtract log base 5 of x minus 10 from both sides. All right, this is what we get after subtracting that log from both sides. Now, when I look at my properties again, I notice my quotient rule. Logs have the same base, they're being subtracted. I can go ahead and condense them down to 1 log and divide what is inside the parentheses. So I can rewrite this as log base 5 of x plus 10 over x minus 10. And that is still equal to 1. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is convert this to exponential form. So I'm going to have 5 to the first, which is just 5, right? So I'm just going to write 5 equals x plus 10 over x minus 10. All right, I don't really want a variable in my denominator, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides by x minus 10. These are going to cancel, and if I distribute that 5 in, I'll end up with 5x minus 50 equals x plus 10. All right, I've got variables on both sides again. So let's try and get those back together. Subtract x. So I'll have 4x minus 50 equals 10. Add that 50 to both sides, and I get 4x equals 60. Then I'm going to go ahead and divide by 4, and I end up with x equals 15. All right, let's make sure it's not extraneous. 15 plus 10, that's going to be positive. 15 minus 10, that's going to be positive. So this is a good solution. All right, last one for now. We have two logs being added together. So I'm going to use my product rule to condense these. Log base 3 of x times x plus 6. Now I use these brackets, or you can use parentheses again, to show that the log is with both of these. If I didn't have the bracket, it might make us think that the log was only with the x. So that's why we do that. This is equal to 3. Now, when I go ahead and distribute that x in, I will get log base 3 of x squared plus 6x, and this is equal to 3. Now I can go ahead and convert this to exponential form, so I'll have 3 to the third equals x squared plus 6x. Now 3 to the third is 27. So 27 equals x squared plus 6x. Again, I'm going to have to factor to figure this out. So I'm going to subtract 27 from both sides. And I end up with 0 equal to this. Now, when I factor this quadratic equation, I'm going to have x minus 3 times x plus 9. And this is still equal to 0. Then I can go ahead and set each one equal to 0. Add 3 to both sides here, subtract 9 from both sides here, and I end up with x equals 3 and x equals negative 9. Okay, we're almost done. We just got to check really fast. So when I plug this in here, I'll have 3. We're good. 3 plus 6 is 9, so we're good. Negative 9. Oh, when I plug in negative 9, that's going to make that negative, and that's going to make this a negative 3. So negative 9 is extraneous. All right, I hope this was helpful. Check out any of those other videos if you need to. Thanks.